Let me ask, just New Orleans thing. What ward you from?
Well, my family is from there. So my cousin and them, they stayed across from Ninth Ward. So my family is from the small. I don't know if you from White Castle. Have you ever heard of White Castle?
You said McCastle?
White Castle. Have you ever heard of White Castle?
White Castle, yes.
Yeah, Plaquemine, Donaldsonville area.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
From.
Okay, yeah, definitely Levi. All praises. Now, you heard what my officer was bringing out, right? About as like your nationality and why he had made the link. It's because a long time, you see the sign here? I love this sign. I want you to look at something, right? A lot of our knowledge has been taught, for one, that we are not the people of the book. Primarily, it started after we came from this side of the planet, right? After we came from this side, and then we was brought over here. That's what a lot of it started. So what they did was in the churches, they had made sure that they took out our nationality and they said, we're not going to call you African American, regardless of which one you might be so-called African American and then be Judah, or you might be West Indian and you'll be Benjamin, or in our case, technically Haitian, but it'll be from the tribe of Levi according to the Bible. That's why I said this. Give me Jeremiah 17:4. I want to show you something real quick. Jeremiah 17:4. Now the Bible makes mention of everything that we're going through now, things that's going to come up in the future, as well as how we get ourselves right.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
Right. So now he says, thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage. So what that means is that you will no longer know your culture, you won't know your nationality, none of that. Like, how did we used to be when we was on the other side of the world? Let me ask you that. Do you know? What about how we used to dress?
Somewhat. My grandmother tried to teach us, but as little,
Okay.
Growing up, we didn't, we was into our own world. We didn't really want to know. We didn't want to sit down and take our time to learn.
I understand that. I had some family members that was like that as well. What about, all right, what about this? How about this? Like, we have a lot of sisters, right? Do our sisters in general act modestly? Be real with me now. Come on over here. Hey, y'all sisters, y'all better stop smoking that weed. I know what y'all doing. Y'all came out that car looking high as crap. For example, you see what I'm talking about? But do our sisters know how to act modestly? I'm doing that because I know I was the kind of guy, right? I was the wrong kind of guy. I know what happens when brothers and sisters smoke together. And I know, now if that was my daughter, I would whip, the belt coming to the behind. Because I know exactly what it is. I know what they're doing. Do our sisters act modestly? I didn't never get your answer for that. Go ahead. No? They don't. You know why? Because it is. Read that in Jeremiah one more time. Then we're going to get Timothy. Watch this.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage. And I gave thee.
Which I gave thee. Go ahead.
And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Now, are we not still on the same soil our ancestors picked cotton? Right? We're still on the same soil. So that means that we're serving our enemies still. The same ones that say you're free to go. We still have to go to their stores, their grocery stores. We have to get things that they made. Like, matter of fact, hold that in Timothy. Go to Proverbs 3:31. Like, for example, Beauty World, right? Now, let's say, for example, I don't know who started it. Do you know who started Beauty World? Like, who owns it? No, I don't know either. But let's say for peace sake, the taxes that the store makes, even if a black woman or whomever owns it, the taxes go towards the so-called white man. A lot of what we go to and a lot of things that we need in our life to survive, to keep going, to keep pushing, we have to give it to another race of people. It doesn't circulate back in our own communities. Like, you heard of Black Wall Street? Somewhat.
Yeah, not too familiar with it, but I've heard of it.
Okay. Okay, well, what about, all right, so in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they had a thing called Black Wall Street, right? Now, when in Black Wall Street, it was a black community. We owned our own businesses. We owned our own hospitals, own educational system, transit, whatever. The dollar was circulating in that community from 36 to 100 times before it left out to go to a white community. And nowadays, when we get, let's say, taxes, because it's tax season, when we get our taxes or the stimulus check that came in, our paycheck that comes in every week, now we rush to spend that money. They call black people liquid money. We rush to spend that money and then give it to another race of people and not circulate it back within our own. But that's because we got discontinued from our heritage. That same man that taught us that God loved everybody, right? That he looks like this. When an image like this is pushed inside your head, what you think that happens to our black brothers and our black sisters? What you think happens? I'm about to hit you with some real stuff now. What's your name, sis? Lisa? All right, Lisa. I'm about to hit you with some real stuff now. Now watch where I'm going there. When an image like this is pushed inside of our brothers and our sisters' head. Let's start with the sisters, since you know you right here, right? What happened when they push this image in our head? Huh? You say the image is what? What's erased? I can't hear. The true image. Okay, yeah, the true image is erased. What else?
What they want us to do.
They substitute, okay.
Like in books,
Uh-huh.
in school, it's like they put in front of us what they want us to learn.
Right.
And
What about how we act? Like, how do we act towards one another if our God looks like...
It's programmed.
It's programmed, okay.
Everything is programmed.
Watch this. Now, I'm going to read a scripture. I want you to tell me what you think about this now. Come on. I like your jacket, by the way. It looks warm. I wish I had one that was in black. Go ahead, come on.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor,
Watch this next part, sis.
and choose none of his ways.
Now, now watch this. It says, don't envy the oppressor, the ones who oppress you, right? Now, the ones who sold us look like this, right? The ones who sold us in slavery, don't they have these features? Right? Now, it says, and choose none of his ways. What's one of his ways that start with sisters. What's one of the ways that our oppressor has that our sisters love to choose? $1 billion industry. Think about it. It's the hair. Look, watch this. All right, so how about this? I'm about to help you out. It's the hair, right? So now, a lot of our sisters love to put the blonde inside their hair. And it could be because our sisters go from not just so-called black, but also Hispanic, right? They love to put the blonde inside of their hair when knowing that their hair grows nice, thick, woolly, curly, black, full, beautiful hair. And they like to change and plait and like flat iron that thing, destroy the hair, right? And then change it into a blonde. But their hair don't naturally grow blonde. The ones who grow blonde is the ones who've been oppressing them.
Right.
Now, God, for example, right? Go to, I want you to drop this. Give me Daniel 7. How does God look? I'm about to hit you with something heavy. How does God look? You don't know? You say like us? Let's get that. Let's get that. Because there's some other people I see that see me teaching, but they like this. They're not as brave as you to come up and ask you, okay, well, you know, what you going into, young man? Watch this. Daniel 7 and 9.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 9.
Watch this.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
So now I beheld, like the Ancient of Days did sit. Thank you. I'm glad you came up out the street. The Ancient of Days, right, Lisa? That's God. Older than days. Go ahead.
Whose garment was white as snow,
So he had a body to put the garment on. Go ahead.
and the hair of his head
Now the hair of God, the supreme power, the hair of his head was what?
like the pearl wool.
Like the pure wool. Pure wool. What race of people has pure woolly hair, sis? What you got for me, Lisa? What race of people has pure woolly hair?
Standing out here.
Yeah, us blacks. Like I got, you know, before he dreaded it, you know, he had all likewise. We had the pure wool. Now guess what? Wisdom of Solomon 13. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 13. 13 and 3. Now God, he has pure woolly hair. Christ had pure woolly hair. Yet our brothers and our sisters found a reason to either blonde or straighten it out or try to look like the oppressor. But this is what God said about the beauty. Read that.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13 and verse 3.
Now this is a book the Apocrypha that the Protestants took out in the 1700s, right? They wanted to take it out because they have information in here that is pertinent to you knowing who you are. This is what it said here. This is Solomon. Go ahead.
With whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods. Let them know how much better the Lord of them is. For the first author of beauty,
The first author of beauty is a black man, God, with the woolly hair. Go ahead.
have created them.
The first author of beauty created them. He said, in the image of God, he made him. Male and female created he them. He made them with the pure wool, beautiful hair. But yet we spend billions. Our sisters spend billions of dollars in there, right there. We gotta stop that, because that goes into us envying our oppressor. That image. The same thing that was pushed on us. And that all played a part, back to Jeremiah 17:4. That all played a part of this. Every last bit of it. That's why he let off asking you what tribe you see yourself on. And that's Levi, right? A lot of them will be from the tribe of Judah. You Judah too, right? Yeah, Judah. Gad. You Gad? Okay, yeah, he says he's Gad. Yeah, let's go with that. He's Gad, right? So that'll be the so-called Native American Indians, right? So that's what you see right here. That's what you see on this sign right here, right? Look at these images. So all of this had happened because the same thing, you see this right here? On the movies, you've ever seen 12 Years a Slave? Goodbye, Uncle Tom? Some of the movies can be a bit hard to look at because of what they're doing, right? But they have these images right here, and sometimes we always think that it's just the African Americans. It could be the so-called Native Indians too. All of this history that's filled inside of America by what happened to us is inside the Bible. That's why it says this in Jeremiah 17:4. I want you to read that for me.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy inheritance that I gave thee.
From thine heritage which I gave you. Go ahead.
And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Now watch this next part.
For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Right, so now what you think we did that made God mad for him to send us into slavery and then now cause us to serve our enemies and be discontinued from our heritage? What did we do that make him so mad to do that to us? Because we can get back in his good graces, and this is what you're seeing here. But what did we do to make him mad? Take a wild guess. Matter of fact, how about this? Pastors say that, what's the main thing that pastors tell you about the doctrine? Like, what do they say? How does God feel about everybody? Let's start with that. He say he loves all of us, okay. What about the laws? Do we still have to keep those? You say yes? Yeah. So, okay, yes, we do have to keep the law still, because there's laws that we keep today. For example, thou shalt not kill. You wouldn't just randomly kill nobody, and that's a law. That was in the Old Testament. Like the judicial system, guess what? The root word of that Jew. The Jews had laws that were pertaining to God that they got from it. The judicial system copied from the old times and then put it inside of the system today here in America. The laws inside the Bible, you find the same exact things written inside of America's laws, bylaws, and what's it called? Substatutes. You find the same thing. The only difference is you're just not reading it from the Bible. You're reading it from the U.S. Code of Conduct and U.S. law. They have laws on adultery, killing, murder, all of that stuff. But yes, now God doesn't love everybody. That's the thing. I want to throw a rock in that window. God don't love everybody. He never was for everybody. Give me that Matthew 15:24. Now this is out of Christ's mouth. We broke God's commandments. We broke his Sabbath days, his high holy days, which is another one, right? Because we celebrate Christmas, Easter, and everything else except his real high holy days. We celebrate everything else but those. Here's another thing, right? Matthew 15.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 24. But he answered and said,
So now this is Jesus Christ saying this.
I am not sent,
I didn't come on this earth.
but unto,
I only came on this earth, however, for who?
but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
I only came to die for the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
That's right.
He said, I didn't come to die for every nation and for everybody to just think that I came to do away with the whole law. My whole purpose of being here is because I love a very specific people. If there's to be peace on earth, my specific people has to get their minds right. And the second that they do, I'll deliver them from slavery and then set them up above every nation on the planet earth. This is Christ's doctrine. Give me Revelation. Give me Revelation 22. This is the last book, last chapter. I want you to hear this. This is why he has sent us into slavery. Read this.
Revelation chapter 22 and verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments.
Now, it said, blessed are they that do his commandments, right? I want you, matter of fact, you have the flyer right there in your hand. On the back of it is our contact information, our call number, all of that stuff. I'm feeding you this information so that way it can at least be somewhat of a splinter to give you some kind of jolt, so that way you can at least look at it for yourself. You don't have to take my words for it. Please don't. Instead, take your time out, sit down, have your Bible open, King James Version, and then look at the videos that we have. We have plenty of them about many different parts of history, doctrinal based, whatever. And then you look at the Bible and then you see, okay, based off of what the Bible is saying, history that happened and what the brothers were saying, I can see that this is true history. This is real. We did go into slavery. We were separated from our heritage, and the Bible actually is a true book, and the pastor has been robbing me blind from tithes.
Right.
All of that stuff, all of that plays a part. That's why he says this, the wisdom of the Bible, it starts with us keeping the commandments. That's why we have to read this. Read that one more time.
Revelations chapter 22 and verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life.
Right, that they may have right to the tree of life. So the only way you enter into the kingdom is how, Lisa? And I know you're reading the flyer. I'm actually glad that you're doing that. But real quick, let me ask you a question. The only way to get into the kingdom is how? That we all know about, the kingdom of heaven. How are we going to get there? You said Jesus Christ, true. Believing on him, yes. But doing what else?
And by living through
14 and 12. Revelation 14 and 12. You said Jesus Christ and what else?
and by doing His word and living according to what the word says.
Right, living according to what the word says. Right. Now I'm gonna tell you something I'm just observing, and I'm actually glad that you're doing it. I don't see it a lot. Usually we give people flyers and they okay, yeah. They toss it.
No, I read
Right.
it.
Yeah, no, that's something that I was about to say, and I'm actually glad that you're doing it. You're actually taking the time out to read it. Because everything I'm saying, you're seeing that is right there inside the flyer. And I want you to, like I said earlier, open the book up. Okay, it says this, and then you look at the video, you be okay, hold on. It's gonna start, after a while it's gonna start clicking. Be like, all right, some of this stuff, it makes sense because I know, and then you might see a movie, for example. I'll tell you what happened to me. I had caught wind of the truth, and then I started to watch a movie. They have one that I like called They Live, right? And I've seen the movie, and a lot of the things that they're making mention of in the movie, you find right here in the scripture. Really, it goes into this. I'll give it to you like this. They live, right? They have this guy, he has these goggles, these shades. And now these shades, it gives you a look into the reality of things. It's not just plain in sight as it is. The reality of things, of how it looks, is absolutely different. When he puts the shades on, they have these people, right? They look white, so to speak, right? But when he puts the shades on, they look like aliens. And and then when they realize that he can see, it's an old movie.
I saw that movie.
You saw it?
Yes.
It's a fire movie. Because when he put the shades on, and then he realizes who the evil, the wicked ones are, you know what they said about him when they saw that he could see? They said, we have one that can see.
Yes. Yes.
We have one that can see. Then they wound up teleporting away, and then they had eyes on him till the day he died. The main, you know what the difference about that is? Give me Romans 13 and 11.
When you said that, I was like, I didn't know the title.
Yeah, it's an old movie.
You said that, but the shades.
Right.
I saw that movie.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that movie.
Now the only difference is when you relook at things like that, and when you look at, like I said, the flyer, you read and you start to understand what's going on around you for sure. Now you're gonna look at what is it that they're hiding in plain sight. That's the way the enemy like to work. They like to hide things in your face in plain sight. That's why it says awake. What is that? High time to wake out. See, give me that. Watch this.
Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. And that, knowing the time.
Now, knowing the time. Look, Ukraine is getting invaded by Russia right now. In the book of Revelations, it makes mention of the Third World War. There's only, because everybody knows, how's the world going to end this time? How's the world going to end? By fire, right? What is powerful enough to bring fire and lay waste to whole countries? Think about it. What weapon has been created to destroy massive pieces of land and population?
What they've been fighting over all this time.
What?
All these nuclear weapons and stuff that they've been trying to get control over all this time.
Well, okay. Well, what weapon, right? It's a certain kind of bomb. The nukes. They have, and Peter, in 2 Peter, don't get there, stay where you at. In 2 Peter 3, Peter makes mention of a heat so hot it's going to burn the elements in the world. He says when those bombs come and shoot from over on the other side of the planet to come here in America and hit it, then the people are going to be delivered from here and then brought over to the wilderness, near where we were from, Israel. He said in that day, he said, think about what kind of person you should be after understanding that this world is going to end by fire. All of that. That's why it says it's high time to wake up out of sleep. Invading one another, all of that's going on. Watch, read that again.
Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Because we've been asleep for over 400 years. We've been asleep for over 400 years not knowing who we were. But now, as we come back, we're like, I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Levi. That's right. Come on.
For now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
Right, because now the salvation of the Israelites, the true Jews, according to the Bible, the true Jews, that's who we out here teaching. That's the whole message. The reason why Christ came in all. The salvation of the true Jews is nearer than when we believe. And there's a newsflash. It's never going to be popular enough to where everybody in the whole planet going to be talking about it. God don't want everybody to wake up. He only wants 144,000 of the leaders, the men, and 1/3, which is the nation of the nation, the woman and the children.
That's right.
That's who he wants. Outside of them, everybody else, he said he's going to kill them.
Right.
That's also in Revelation. That's in Peter as well.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.